Good morning, and welcome to this morning's reflection. We've been looking at getting out of the boat this week. To get out of the boat requires a lot of courage. It requires courage to take a risk, but also it requires wisdom to discern if you indeed have a call to get out of the boat. There is a big difference between faith and foolishness. The line between thou shalt not be afraid and thou shalt not be ridiculous is a very fine one and is not easily located. Knowing when to get out of the boat, when to take a risk, does not only demand courage, it also demands wisdom. Wisdom to ask the right questions. The discernment to recognize the voice of the Master, and the patience to wait for his command. So how do we go about discerning an authentic call from God? That call to get out of the boat. God is active. God works. He works with his people. The God of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, but is always quietly working to protect his flock. God is a worker. And because we are created in God's image, we too are designed to work. We were made to create, to lead, to study, to organize, to heal, to cultivate, and to teach. We are gifted to serve the world. And through this service, we are gifted to serve and love and honor God. Your calling is that full engagement in what God has given you to do, and he has given you a holy task. We each of us have a purpose. We are called firstly to know God, and to receive his love and mercy, and to be his children. We are called to live in the reality of his kingdom, and to have Christ formed within us. As part of our calling, we are given gifts, talents, longings and desires, and these are to be used in the service of God and in the service of others. We are on a mission for God. We are the salt of the earth. We are the light of the world. If God's kingdom is to manifest itself in the world right now, right where you are, it will have to be through you and through me. God will not take our place in the work that we have to do. We cannot be spectators. We are workers. And so what we do matters immensely. It is worth devoting your whole energy to. To discern a calling is a challenge, and it's a challenge of self-exploration and a challenge of judgment. Callings are not easy to discover. You will need to be ruthlessly honest about your gifts and your limitations. You will need to ask hard questions. Discernment will take many attempts and there will be many failures, but we will eventually get it right. A calling is discovered, not chosen, and it involves very careful listening. Friedrich Buchner wrote, "The place where your deep gladness meets the world's deep need is your calling." So what work brings you joy? For what do you have a desire and a passion? For these desires and these passions are indeed gifts from God. In discerning our calling, we must be honest about our own reality. If we are not, reality can become our enemy. We can ignore all the signs that we are trying to pursue what we are not called to do and what we are not gifted to do. And then we tend to live with chronic low-grade anxiety. And this anxiety whispers to us that we are trying to be someone that we are not. Acknowledging our limitations can sometimes feel like dying. But to discern our call wisely, we must face our limitations. We must face our limitations. So, what is your most painful limitation? What is the limitation that frightens you the most to acknowledge and to accept? And where do you most avoid seeing the deep truth about yourself? And so today, as we begin a process of discernment, which we will continue in the weeks to come, but as we begin this process of discernment, to discern your calling, to discern if you are called to step out of the boat and what you are called to do, we begin by looking at our limitations so that we can distill that which we are truly gifted to do. And so may God be with you as you discern what it is that you are called to do. Amen.